Did I start from home? One for what? Regular stomach? Regular stomach? Yeah.
Tekashi 6IX9INE, in one of the most controversial rappers of this generation, has found himself in the spotlight once again for all the wrong reasons. Known for his rainbow-colored hair, his over-the-top personality, and his ability to spark controversy. Wherever he goes, 6ix9ine has built a career out of chaos. But this time, the chaos has landed him behind bars yet again. Yes, you heard that right. Tekashi 6ix9ine has been arrested once more. And the world is buzzing with the same question. What did he do this time? To understand the weight of this arrest, we need to rewind and remind ourselves who 6IX9INE really is and why every move he makes sends shockwaves through the hip-hop world. Born Daniel Hernandez in Bushwick, Brooklyn, Tekashi grew up in an environment where struggle and survival were part of daily life. He lost his father at a young age and was forced to take on adult responsibilities way before he should have. With very little money and limited options, he gravitated toward the streets, searching for belonging and recognition. That search eventually led him into the world of hip-hop, but not the clean, polished version we see on the radio. No, Tekashi entered the game with grit, controversy, and a shocking look that made him impossible to ignore. His breakout moment came with his track, Gummo, which instantly turned heads. The aggressive lyrics, the wild visuals, and his brash personality created the perfect storm that catapulted him into stardom. But fame for Tekashi has never been clean. Along with recognition came trouble, both from rival rappers and from the law. His affiliation with the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods pulled him deep into a lifestyle of crime and chaos. Over the years, he's faced countless accusations, racketeering, assault, and weapons charges, to name a few. And of course, who can forget his infamous federal trial, where he turned witness against his former gang associates. That move earned him the label of a snitch in the hip-hop community, something that continues to define him to this day. Yet, despite all that, 6ix9INE managed to bounce back into the spotlight time and again, using controversy itself as fuel for his career. This time, however, the story is unfolding differently. Reports from law enforcement indicate that 6IX9INE's latest arrest stems from a violent altercation that escalated far beyond what anyone expected. According to sources close to the case, Tekashi was involved in an incident that allegedly turned physical, leading to charges of assault and disturbing the peace. Now, let's be real. Fights and altercations aren't exactly new to 6ix9ine. It's been in countless public disputes, both online and offline. But this time, the severity of the charges and the fact that he's already on thin ice with the justice system makes this arrest a whole lot more serious. The court has confirmed that Tekashi was taken into custody after police were called to the scene of the altercation. Witnesses described the incident as chaotic, claiming that shouting quickly escalated into physical confrontation. Videos circulating on social media show fragments of what happened, though not all of them are clear enough to paint the full picture. Still, it's enough to stir massive debate among fans and critics alike. Some say he was simply defending himself, while others insist that Tekashi is addicted to trouble and thrives on dragging drama wherever he goes. What makes this moment even more critical is Tekashi's history. When someone with a clean record gets into a fight, the punishment is usually lighter. But when Tekashi gets arrested, the courts look at his track record, and that track record is messy. He's still dealing with the stigma of his previous convictions, his time in prison, and his cooperation with federal investigators. Judges don't take kindly to repeat offenders, and prosecutors often push harder when they know the accused has a long list of past mistakes. That's why this arrest isn't just another headline. It could mark a turning point in Tekashi's career, maybe even the downfall he's been dodging for years. Fans, of course, are split down the middle. Some are worried for him, arguing that the system has been out to get Tekashi ever since he turned federal witness. They claim he's being targeted, that authorities want to make an example out of him. On the other side are the critics, who argue that Tekashi has always played with fire, and it's only a matter of time before he gets burned. They believe this arrest is just the latest example of someone who refuses to change, someone who keeps sabotaging his own success. Social media is filled with hashtags, memes, and heated debates, all revolving around one central question: will Tekashi 6IX9INE finally face the consequences of his actions? Or will he somehow escape once again? The rap industry itself is reacting in waves. Some rappers, many of whom already have long-standing beef with Tekashi, are mocking his arrest, using it as an opportunity to remind the world of his snitch reputation. Others are surprisingly quiet, perhaps waiting to see how the case unfolds before making their own moves. For an artist like Tekashi, who thrives on attention, even negative publicity can be useful. But there's a dangerous side to it too. Every time he gets into trouble, the circle around him shrinks. The opportunities dry up. And the trust within the industry fades further. If he keeps this up, Tekashi might find himself not just fighting the law, but also fighting irrelevance. In a culture that moves on quickly, as the legal process begins to unfold, the spotlight on Tekashi grows even brighter. Court documents reveal that the charges against him are not just about a simple fight. Prosecutors are framing this as yet another incident in a long series of reckless behavior that shows Tekashi refuses to learn from his past mistakes. They argue that his repeated clashes with the law prove a pattern, a dangerous cycle that must be stopped. For Tekashi, that argument is a nightmare, because if the court agrees, the consequences could be far harsher than a fine or a short sentence. We're talking about real jail time, the kind of sentence that could take him out of the rap game for years. What makes this situation even worse is that Tekashi is still under the microscope from his past cases. The justice system doesn't forget. And when you've already been on probation, parole, or had prior convictions, judges tend to be much less forgiving. Reports suggest that prosecutors might even attempt to use his past testimony and criminal history to argue that Tekashi is a habitual offender who doesn't deserve leniency. If that happens, this arrest could very well become the most serious one of his career. Meanwhile, the media circus around him is growing louder by the day. Every gossip blog, news outlet, and hip-hop podcast is covering the story, dissecting every little detail and speculating about what it could mean for his future. On one side, his loyal fans are defending him, insisting that Tekashi is constantly being baited into conflict because of his fame, his controversial history, and his reputation as a snitch. They argue that other rappers and even random people on the street go out of their way to provoke him because they know he can't resist reacting. On the other side, critics are tearing him down, mocking his downfall, and suggesting that this was always where the road would lead. Social media, of course, has turned the arrest into a circus of memes and commentary. Clips of his arrest are circulating on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, often edited with sarcastic captions or dramatic music. Some fans are making jokes about him getting locked up again, while others are seriously worried, reminding people that Tekashi's children could end up suffering if their father goes back to prison. The duality of the internet is on full display. Half the world is laughing at him, and the other half is bracing for what comes next. But beyond the noise, there's an undeniable truth. Tekashi's career is at a crossroads. He's been able to survive scandal after scandal, bouncing back with viral songs and controversial moves. But the law is not something he can play with forever. If this case ends with serious jail time, his momentum could be shattered. The music industry moves fast, and fans are quick to move on to the next big thing. A long absence from the spotlight could mean Tekashi comes out to a world that's already forgotten about him still. history has shown us anything, it's that Tekashi has a knack for turning his lowest moments into publicity stunts that boost his fame. Remember when he got out of prison and immediately dropped new music, breaking records and dominating social media despite being branded as a snitch? He turned public hate into numbers, and for a while, it worked. That's why some people believe this arrest might not be the end, but just another chapter in the wild, unpredictable saga of Tekashi 6ix9ine. If he manages to beat the charges or minimize the sentence, there's no doubt he'll try to spin it into another comeback story. Industry insiders are already debating what this could mean for his future collaborations. Tekashi has always had trouble convincing big-name artists to work with him, partly because of his snitch reputation and partly because of the constant chaos surrounding his life. This arrest will make that even harder. Labels don't want the risk. Sponsors don't want the controversy. And artists don't want their own image tied to someone who can't stay out of trouble. The walls are closing in, and Tekashi will have to work harder than ever to prove he still belongs in the rap world. But here's the interesting twist. Controversy sells. In a world where attention is currency, Tekashi still knows how to get it. His ability to dominate headlines, even for the worst reasons, keeps him in the public eye. Whether people love him or hate him, they're still talking about him. And that's something most rappers would kill for. The danger, of course, is that eventually the drama outweighs the music, and people stop seeing you as an artist and start seeing you as a walking scandal. Tekashi is right on the edge of that line. One more step in the wrong direction, and he may no longer be known for his music at all. At the heart of all this is a bigger question. Who is Tekashi 6ix9ine without the chaos? Can he exist as a rapper, as an artist, without controversy to fuel his image? Or is trouble the very foundation of his brand, something he can never escape, even if he tries? Right now, it seems like Tekashi himself doesn't know the answer. Every time he has the chance to step away from the drama, he finds himself pulled right back in. And maybe that's the biggest tragedy of all. A talent wasted because of an addiction to attention. As this case unfolds, the whole world will be watching. Will Tekashi finally face the music and pay the price for years of reckless behavior? Or will he slip through the cracks once again and return to the spotlight stronger than before? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. Tekashi 6ix9ine's story is far from over. And this arrest might just be the beginning of his most unpredictable chapter yet. And that's where we leave it for now. But before you go, let me talk directly to you. If you've been hooked on this story, it means you're the kind of person who wants the real details behind the drama. It's the truth behind the headlines. And the updates that no one else breaks down like this. That's exactly what this channel is all about. So here's what you need to do. Hit that like button right now. It only takes a second, but it lets YouTube know you want more content like this, and it helps us reach more fans just like you. Then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And tap the notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the next big update. Trust me, the way things are going, Tekashi's story isn't over, not even close. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this latest arrest finally marks the end of Tekashi's career? Or will he somehow spin this into another shocking comeback? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the conversation started.